Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 1 in the Gospel of John. Today's about the love letter of God to the world. So this is the Gospel of John. We're going to call this season 1, episode number 1. Thank you for being here. I'm going to ask today, Lord, what do you have for us in the Gospel of John? What person in the story is going to touch us? Or what person that we've encountered can we encounter afresh? What reality of your character may we see? What might you expose in my life, in my character? And what experience there in the gospel will affect me now? Give me eyes to see it. Give us eyes to see it too. Give me the diligence to find it, and give me the courage to face it when I do find it. So the last book we talked about for 180,000 words, which is just kind of mind-blowing. And did it make a difference? The only reason to do a podcast is to change the world and to change my world and to change your world. The last book we did took 200 days. Some of us may not and do not have another 200 days left. So the question is, how might we steward the mornings that we have left? So I beg you to be a part of John. Join me, walk with me, move our spiritual needles to understanding and to remembering and to receiving and to entrusting. It's been said that the Gospel of John is God's love letter to the world, and let's approach it as such. So why join in listening? Why come back tomorrow? And if I told you that God wrote us a letter and you really believed it, we would be clamoring to find out what was in it. And what if in that letter he tells us the answer to some of the most important questions in humanity that God has ever wrestled, that humanity has ever wrestled with? For example, who is Jesus? That is answered. It's even answered today on the first line. So I'm asking you to join me and let's clamor together. Let's figure this out together. So let me read. This is from John chapter 1 and verse 1 in the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. Verse 3. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So doesn't this sound familiar? In the beginning, it's the same opening as the book of Genesis. It recalls Genesis' creation, and it gives a new light to it. So Jesus, who is another name for the Word, is there at creation, and he's there before creation. So before there's a beginning, as we understand it, Jesus was there. So he was in some sort of a Trinitarian love relationship, of fellowship with the Father, Son, and Spirit. And then, so that happened way back when, and then the Lord starts with us with creation. Now, this says that Jesus is God. The Word was God, and is God for that matter. So if you ask the question, just the foundational question, which is addressed here today, is Jesus God? It's a great question. The Bible claims so on the first line of the Gospel of John. Essentially on the first page in the New Testament, it says Jesus is God. On the first page of the Bible, if you will, Jesus claims to be God. Does the Bible say that Jesus is God? You may ask. It might seem like an elementary question, but that question alone has been the stumbling block of every religion besides Christianity, and has been the spiritual downfall of billions. I don't know the exact number, but it's been the spiritual downfall of probably billions and billions and billions of people. They got that first question wrong, and then everything else follows. So who is Jesus? What's your opinion? And then we're going to ask, what is the evidence that he asks you to consider? What claims does he make? He says he was there at the beginning, and before that, by the way. He's with God. He has the same address of God. He's with God. And then identity, he identifies himself as God. So let's first pause at the identity before we kind of move on towards all the activities of Jesus. And we'll ask this question again. We'll keep coming back to it. It's not our last moment of giving this consideration. Is Jesus God? Answer, yes. All right, he's God, but then verse 3 says he's creator. I love this. He's the potter. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So all things were made by him, and absent Jesus, there was nothing made. So creation is caused by, powered by, invented by Jesus. So Jesus' hands were full of clay. If we ran into him, he'd be like a potter with the apron and the dirt on his knees kind of thing. He's a potter who is working. So 3a, verse 3, the first part says, all things were made through him. So it's like looking at a set of pots and saying, these are the creation that an agent greater than themselves made. They didn't just self-make themselves. They were made through a potter. And then the second half of the verse, 3b, says, and without him was not anything made that was made. And that's like looking at the potter and saying, this is the agent that's behind all of this creation, all this pots. No pots popped into being absent the agency and creativity and creation of the potter. So no potter equals no pots. So it looks at it from two different ways. All right, so a couple conclusions today. One is that Jesus is God. He was there at the beginning and before the beginning. Kind of the corollary is, and by the way, that's not you. You were not there at the beginning. You did not pre-exist before the beginning. Your address is not God's address. The second point is that Jesus made everything, and absent him, nothing got made. The corollary is, I didn't make everything, and absent me, nothing got made. So God is in a different category. But third point is, I think the corollary is that we are somewhat makers. We are creative. We're intentional. We're goal setting. We have abilities, and they might be actually in a little way similar to him. We have ideas and designs and plans and strategies and things that we build into fruition. And likely all of our lives show this in different areas. So we image him because we're created in his image in this thing that we've talked about today, his creativity, his work, and his planning. So welcome today to the love letter that God has given us. Welcome to the love letter that is the Gospel of John. Please come back tomorrow. See you then.